Hi from home, guys. Usually you see me in the car. We actually have the iPhone recording in vertical and our regular camera recording horizontal. So we're figuring this out a little bit. So I'll be looking probably back and forth or whatever as I do this. But it took me a while to kind of like actually today, this is just chill vibes, by the way. Chill will vibes from home. To next video will be like an official video. But today I just wanted to kind of like take a minute, say welcome home, welcome to the studio. I guess the premise of this video, and it won't be too long, but like the premise of this video is I want to talk about being able to work from home and the massive struggles I've had working from home with kids, working on the business, working for employers, whatever. And so I want to talk about that struggle, the past, the present, and then my projections for the future. Because I feel a little more chill, a little more calm now than I did before, like from here. Okay, so let me tell you about okay, camera will. Let me tell you about the, here we go. Let me tell you about the past of like just working from home. Like it was very hard for me to get any sort of like focus done. One, like I come from the corporate world, the professional world, where it's like, you get on a Zoom call and make sure there's no sound in the background, make sure everything's good. And this is all great. This is all good stuff that you should strive for, absolutely. But like when you're working from home and you have 6 boys, I mean, before I had, 2 and 3 and 4 and 5, that becomes more and more difficult. And so your options, or at least I found my options, were either I work in the early morning or the evening or at home, or I go out to like Starbucks and work from there, or Dunkin' or whatever. Or I can get like a co-working space, but like the co-working spaces that I was looking at were in Asheville, I'm in Hendersonville, and so about 30 minutes, about an hour away to do that. And that's not crazy, by the way. It's not crazy to do. It just is like when you're looking at your every single day and you're like, like I don't want to, it's like, it's fun, it's silly because like when we work for employers, like the commute is not paid for. A lot of people go an hour out of the way, a lot of people go, 30 minutes out of the way, whatever, that's not paid for. And so in reality, even though you're working an 8-hour shift, you're really working like a 9 or even a 10-hour shift, just depending on like, what it is. Like if you have an hour there, an hour back, that's exactly what my commute was, pretty much. Not exactly an hour, a little under an hour, back and forth to Brevard for 6 years, but you don't get paid for that. And then in addition to that, you have like the lunch breaks that, you're not paid for, but it's also good that you are doing a recording.
Oh, I was gonna ask you want some breakfast.
Oh, I love some breakfast. And so I could technically drive to like the co-working space. But in a sense, it's the same thing where it's like I could just be working at that time. Again, it is trade-offs though, right? If going to the co-working space gives you the focus and clarity, you can be way more productive even if you're an hour down than, what it would have probably been, you just, like I said, sticking from here, staying, here. Again, I didn't have any of those thoughts before. I always just was like so overwhelmed. And so I thought my only solution was just like going to Starbucks, putting on some noise cancellation headphones, and just chilling, doing the thing. And that's pretty much what I did for almost all of my career. Either I worked in office, I enjoyed working in office, or if I needed to, or if it was like a hybrid, like a remote type of thing, I'd go to like a Starbucks so that I can absolutely get the focus I need to do. Now, that works, but here's where another, part of Will just kind of falls off a cliff. Like I've always wanted to have like a home studio. like a home like office, and I've built many. If you look back at the channel, like there's many vlogs of me building a studio out. And the reality is that most of those setups maybe lasted a week. Like they looked good, it felt good building out the set, but it just, the focus and the actual work I got done wasn't in there. It was good for like shooting in, but I didn't get the work done that I thought I could. And also, by the way, like when you're doing like videos and recording, it can also be awkward, you recording and talking, and your like spouse is in the other room, and you're like kind of like you're talking, you're trying to figure out what you're like. It can be awkward, or at least that's how it was for a very, very long time. And I would always kind of like, if I was recording, here we go. We don't have a camera on here, but if I was recording, I literally created this format. One, because it would speed up post, but two, like I put the camera out and be like, okay, 15 seconds max, and I tell the camera what I'm doing, boop, 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 boop. So it actually is a good thing, you're going fast about it, and then gone, and then there might be another 30 minutes that pass, 15 seconds, boop, 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 boom, and you're in a different location, and that works. I think that's just, it's a good format, but the reason probably for a lot of that was a bit of insecurity about, okay, what am I gonna talk about? Everyone's looking. Okay, is this kind of like, and then you also have, like, when you're recording, you're trying to make the perfect recording, and then the kids bust in, boom, hey, what's up? And I personally, at least when I'm doing talking heads, I like to record the talking head just as is. I don't like to pull it into edit or whatever, because it doubles the amount of time. Like right now, we got 7 minutes on the clock, and I'm just gonna record through and then press upload to the raw file that is here, one of these files. I'm not sure, like now that I have two of the cameras here, it probably makes sense that we upload the horizontal format to YouTube, and then the vertical one, we'll just upload that directly to Opus Clips or whatever, Opus.pro, and that can just be, all those can become like awesome dope clips. I think that might be the format, because we get the best of both worlds. Anyways, moving on. Home office as a parent. Another thing I think that stopped me was, where is my space at? Where's my dedicated space at? When we have so many, we have so many kids, so it's like the rooms are already dedicated. You know what I mean? It's like we have a 3-bedroom house, and so like you got the master, which is me and Laura, and then you have Eden and King in 1 bedroom. Actually, sorry, we changed over the master, but we have a bedroom for me and Laura. We actually took the smaller bedroom because it makes more sense how we're doing it now. Me and Laura. And then we have another regular bedroom for Eden and King, and then the bigger master, we decided to put Titan, Maverick, Lux in there, because you could put 3 different beds across. So they pretty much got the master because we're a big family. And then the baby is still a baby right now, so the baby sleeps with us in our room. And so the thing is, like, okay, well, where do we put the office at? And I've done many different setups. I did if you go back a little bit further, I did the under the closet office, which is a vibe. It was chill. Under the stair steps office, which was super small. It was super tiny, but it was a vibe. I thought it was pretty cool. But again, it just was too small. It just, you're in there and you can't really move or do anything. And then I did the whole office from the kids' room, where the older 2 kids, where it's just like, I'm just going to be on the computer. But then you run into like privacy issues, where it's like, or privacy and time issues, where you're like, now I got to make sure and double check the background every single time I make a video, or every time I want to call. And then like it's just that the division of space doesn't really work too well, especially when you're doing, when you're trying to make content or whatever, or be on videos. By the way, shout out to the green coffee. By the way, is in this cup. Then I did the whole office in the living room. I did an office on the stair steps, but the problem there was just there was no privacy, right? You have no sort of you are working, but you just are always distracted, or people always feel as though they can approach you. The kids feel like they can approach you. The wife feels like she can approach you, and so you just nonstop, boop 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 boop, back and forth. So that didn't work. In the old house, we did the dining room. We pretty much had like an open floor concept. So we had like the dining room, and then next to the dining room was technically my office. My wife had many problems with that. Then I tried our bedroom, but the problem with the bedroom is that you can't go into your office when everyone's sleeping. And my wife is a night owl, so she sleeps a little bit later, and that also is like her space. So if I'm in there, then I'm like, oh, can you turn down the TV? Okay, like you kind of have that. It's just like it creates a conflict, and also the kids sleep and sometimes make their way to the bed too. So you didn't have to delay the amount of time that it takes you to get up and do all the things. Then I said, okay. Let me set up the office in the attic. I said, let me do that. But that turned into like health concerns, because like there's exposed insulation, and like every time I came down, it's like I had to like change clothes or whatever, because like, oh, we can't have the kids touching you, and that was a whole mess. And so finally, we ended up landing on, or at least I ended up landing on, okay, what about the walk-in closet in the master bedroom? Because originally the master bedroom was our bedroom, so this was before. And it is small. It is like, I don't know how many feet this is, but I imagine it's like a 8x8, but there's a water heater block that kind of just, it's not exposed, but like it takes up, 20% of the room. But I've always actually loved small spaces, by the way. I've always I'm a minimalist, and I love kind of feeling that it's like cozy. It feels good to me. And so I was up for the challenge. I was able to make it work. I've rearranged this thing several different times. I think the big thing that changed was when I actually designed the whole room out, in a sense where like color palette and things like that. In movies, there's a 70-20-10 rule that like you like have 70% of the they pretty much use like for your eye to track, like the 10% is usually the color that pops or whatever that hits you, and then you have like 20% which is kind of like supporting that, and then you have 70% which is either like black or cream or white, and it could be any different color, but like, and so I kind of did that here. The theme really here, and I just added this today, so don't mind that, but the theme here was, you can't see this on the short vibe, was pretty much purple, white, black, I think the purple being, was it 10% or 20%, and then the black being 10% or 20%, I can't remember which one it was, and then the cream of the wall, or just cream in general, being 70%. We added a little blue. If you're on the YouTube, we got a little blue here. We made this this painting over here. Made that in high school, and I might actually get back into painting on some real shit. Sorry, TikTok and shorts or whatever. Made this in high school for my concentration, and then the one behind me, which both videos can see, is a painting done by Stoven. You can check him out at Stoven Art on Instagram. He's a vibe, bro. He's a vibe. He does really good, amazing abstract art. You can kind of see that if I move over a little bit. Oh, cool. Anyways, so let's talk about, so that's where I ended up. But still, I didn't use this office because most of my work is on the road. We've talked about this before, where I'm just kind of out and about, and that's why most of the videos are in the van, because one, it's good sound, it's easy, no one's around, and you can just record. It's a thing. And so that's been the default office setup. And what's crazy is coming from an office setup of one chair to like this space, you're like, oh my God, there's so much space. You're in the van, you got one seat right here. But I'm giving this another go. Okay, I think a lot of the things that hold us back are our self-limiting beliefs, right? If you notice, like, so I'm going to kind of move into the present, to chapter 2, present. I was very critical about, I can't, the kids in the background, oh my God, I don't really care that much anymore. This channel's about parentpreneurship. There's going to be kids in the background. It's going to happen. The wife coming in, I'm like, hey, do you want breakfast? Before that, I would be like, oh man, I gotta stop the video. Nope, don't care. Also, I've gotten a lot more comfortable with the structure of how I do my talking heads. Talking heads were low value to me before. What I mean by that is, like, I very much was like Casey Neistat vibes, where I really wanted to vlog. And by the way, vlog is coming back. I don't know when, can't make any promises, but like, talking head was so boring. And I was down to like podcast. I don't have the thing on me, but I was down to like podcast and do the thing, and that was okay. But like actually talking to the camera, it's kind of boring. But when I realized that I can do a talking head for 20, 30, an hour and get 100,000 views off of just doing that consistently, and also I get to talk about the things that I care about already, like I'm just already just vibing, talking, I was like, holy shit, this is an opportunity, this is a thing, let's do it. So now I've figured out a structure for how to do these talking heads that hopefully is engaging enough for you guys. This is like just chill vibes for Will. I have a dope ass video that I want to talk through. I don't know if it'll be tomorrow or the next day or whatever, but like that'll all be coming to the channel the next video. But good shit. All right, so present. What's different? What's different? One, me not really caring that much. Me creating a format. I had so many beliefs about like my, in a sense, like I was like, oh, it's so dumb, in my brain I was like, oh, Laura's thinking like this is stupid, or oh, I need like that caring about what everybody else thinks, even internally, like it would eat at me and wouldn't allow me to just talk freely and just be here. Like I could talk to her freely, but like I'm like talking about business or whatever, which is quite boring to her. And so it's just like I don't care as much anymore. Like, not I don't care, it's just they're non-existent. They're things that we just put in our brain that just stop us. There's so many limiting beliefs that just stop us from like leveling up. And that has been a huge thing for this year. Just there's every time I break through another ceiling, realizing that ceiling could have been broken through years ago, decades ago. I just didn't realize that that was a ceiling there. Unknown unknowns. All right, cool. I think I'm gonna let's see. The Office. Let's give a bit of expectation. Let's think about. That's present, right? I'm just chilling. We're here. We're vibing. Hopefully you like the aesthetic. It took a little bit of time to like clean it up. I put a light up there. Got a light over here. We've got this light's been charging. So this is a magnetic light. We'll find out what happens. So this is a little magnetic light, and so we got two different vibes. Sorry, we actually got two. We've had these for years, by the way. These are aperture lights, like $100. But like, they're magnetic, so you can stick them to things. So this being a closet, the rack up here, you can see it over, you can't really see it over here, but like the rack, I can magnetic that, but we have a basic Walmart chair in here right now, which is also metal and magnetic. So What a lot of people can do is you can put a light behind you that's pointed at the wall, and it will separate you a little bit more from the background, especially if you're against the wall. You're a little further against the wall. So we're gonna actually find that out right now. There might be, let's see what we got here. Okay, right now we got purple. That's vibes. So we could actually stick with just the purple and see what the purple looks like. Intensity is at 32, so let's put the intensity up. You can see my hand going up. Whoop, 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 whoop. Okay, hold on. Magnetic. And that, pretty much, you can't really see it that well. You can see a little bit of the, like if I move, you can see there's a little bit of light behind me. It does overcast, it does throw a little tint. I can see it now. I can see a little bit of the tint. I think it adds to it. The good thing about the light is it going back there, it doesn't affect the lighting in front. You know, I'm if you made it to the deep end, we're almost to the deep end, like we're chilling here. Which doesn't affect your lighting up top up here. So it gives your background a little bit of vibes. I wonder what happens if we actually throw it up here. Throw it up top, throw it up top, throw it up top. Let's replace this one with this one. Doesn't really do much. Also, we can change how purple it is. We can say hue. Saturation is up, intensity is up, hue. So we can go blue. Okay, what if we actually change it back? Let's change it back to purple. And then we actually have the ability to change it just to a regular light. So if we just change this up and put our intensity up, this pretty much just lightens this up a little bit. You see that? Which gives a little more separation. I don't know which is better. Purple probably is more of a vibe, but more ways where we just are chilling. We're doing our thing. All right, let's go to chapter 3, which is like future vibes. What's the future vibes for here? Hey, buddy. Oh, 1 second, okay? See you in a second. Bye-bye. Bucks. Future vibes. I want to be in here a lot more. Just chilling, vibing. I got a lot more Loom videos that I have to make as I'm working on building out a team. Hints for the next video. And so there's going to be a lot more recording. It's okay, buddy. You're good. You're good. It's okay. No worries. Good job. Determined to close that door. That's not going to close. Yeah, I think that's the big thing is like I'd want to be able to kind of have more focus time in here. I actually personally work in the dark, so all these lights and all this stuff doesn't really I think I'm gonna keep on going at it. 1 second. All these lights. Whoop, Jesus. Keep that straight. All these lights really aren't on when I'm working, which is kind of silly. It's good for recording, but I like to put on my headphones, all lights out, just the computer screen, and so I'm just in a dark closet, just working. I find that gives me the best thing, and I'm listening to music, right? Or listen to music sometime, or I'll switch up to podcast or whatever. That'll kind of be the vibe. And then I'll take a little break. If you notice, if you're on the TikTok or short vibe, we have a little magnetic chessboard here. I've been learning a lot more about chess in learning about openings, mid game, and end game, and it translates so much to business. So much. Lots to come to the channel. Thank you guys for hanging out with me, supporting the channel. If you haven't already, of course, give me a sub. You know, if you love parenting, if you love business, you love self-development, give a sub. That's what we're talking about here. And also, by the way, Start Right my business. We focus on helping parentpreneurs scale their business. If you're starting your business, this is probably more vibes for you, like lots of good DIY education. But if you're in the phase of like scaling, pretty much you're making over $100,000, we would love to work with you and help you pretty much with the headaches that come with being at the level that you're at, the IT, the marketing, you know, all that type of stuff. Love to work with you. So go over to StartRightTodayLLC.com and you know, click on the button. See if you're a good fit. There's an apply button there. We'll see if you're a good fit, and love to work with you. That's interesting, right? We haven't done that in a while, right? I've been focused mainly just right here, but I feel as though I have two very clear separations of what I'm doing now, which is you have helping parentpreneurs start and helping parentpreneurs scale. My whole career has been helping pretty much parentpreneurs scale their business. Most business owners, if you really zoom out, most of them are parents. You know, most of them have, you know, and these people, like I've worked for like $4 or $5 million companies where it's just they're trying to buy back their time. They're just trying to get their time back. And so they're hiring people so they can buy their time back. And you are that person, you know, helping them have more time with their family, helping them go on more vacations. And so if that's where you're at, if you're, you know, 100,000 plus per year in annual revenue, love to help you with that, because I've been doing that for 18 years now. But if that's not you, on the channel, guys, we are vibing out, telling about all of the mistakes of starting a business. We're talking about all of it. We're going through it. And this is probably the best place to kind of, I can give you tactical, but I can also save you so much time by all the fuck ups I've made for myself. So that's a vibe. It's a thing. Go over to StartRightLLC.com or just sub for more stuff. All right. Take care, guys. Peace.